Hello and welcome to piano lesson number 20. Woohoo! So, 20 lessons so far. Pretty good, I'd say. Last maybe 5 or so lessons have been kind of like scattered, but I'm sure you can kind of tell the difference between the first videos that I actually had outlined and planned and like had them all ordered, and now I'm just kind of doing whatever comes to mind and stuff like that as requests come in and just do whatever. So this one's also quite a really random subject, but it will help people that are starting to get a little advanced, probably into the grade 5s and stuff like that, 5, 6 and on. Anyway, like you'll see more and more of it in higher grades and stuff like that. So today I'm going to be talking about something called polyrhythms. Woohoo! Polyrhythms. Polyrhythms! Yeah, anyway. Okay, polyrhythms aren't actually that complicated if you just remember 2 sayings. So I've drawn out some examples here, and I would have used the whiteboard, but my dad took it into his office. So, no whiteboard today, just some paper and some pen marks that look all sloppy and might be hard to read, but these lessons are free, so you can't complain. Okay, so polyrhythms. There's 2 types that are common. The rest are very obscure, and polyrhythms are more important if you're a drummer, but if you're a piano player, not as important. You'll see 2 polyrhythms. The first one's called 2 against 3, and the other one's called 3 against 4. Now, to understand why these are complex rhythmic patterns and stuff like that, try dividing 3 into 4 and try and divide 2 into 3. You don't get an even number, do you? Yeah, I thought so. That's what the other guys found out too when they first discovered these polyrhythms or whatever. They don't match up. So in most music it all divides perfectly into halves or like quarters or something, but with these polyrhythms they're uneven, and like you've got it just doesn't line up properly. It actually sounds like the 2 hands are separated. If you actually want to see a good example of polyrhythms, look at I have a piece called the First Arabesque from Debussy. I recorded it a while ago, it's still up on my homepage. The first starting part, the part where it's coming down, it goes, that's all polyrhythms going. Now if you listen closely, they're not really matching up. I need to work on my slow practice though, because it's a bit uneven. But you get the idea, right? Okay, so they don't match up, and it sounds like your left hand and right hand are completely all wonked apart and everything. Not like if you're just playing a chord and it's all like, it's all together. So let's look at these little examples I have here. So the first one, 2 against 3. So let's just pop this over here. Okay, so 2 against 3. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so 2 versus 3. I just did that because it was easier than writing against. Okay, so I had this written in, I have this written in 4/4 time, right hand, left hand. Now it can be switched around, so the triplet, this is a triplet here. Notice the 3. So what a triplet means is, so 2 eighth notes are 1 beat, right? So now these are 3 eighth notes, and in a triplet that means that the 3 triplets actually only count as 2. So even though there's 3 eighths here and 2 eighths here, they actually end up taking up the exact same amount of time. So how that would sound is, this is going dun dun, and this would be dun dun dun. Okay, so you just have to remember that you'll take this one off. Even though you see this, it actually only counts as this, but it's being played faster because there's 3 to fit into the same space. So this creates the kind of paradox or problem between the two coming together, because they start together and then this one's going to come in here, then this one, and then this one. So people will play them and it won't sound properly, or they'll look at it and be like, huh? What am I supposed to do? So as this would go along, just dun 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 dun, or dun 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 dun. So those two things are happening simultaneously. So my wonderful teacher, Lori, gave me a nice saying to say to make things easier. So I'm going to pass this on to you. Okay, so the saying is not difficult. I like that because it also helps you psychologically to think that it's not that difficult. So, because you're going to be saying it over and over to yourself in your head, and it actually helps you in a way, because then you look at it, you're like, oh, that's not difficult at all. Ha ha ha. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll go, not difficult, not difficult, not difficult. Now, how this will actually look is the not, at not, so I wrote out a little diagram here. So when you say not, you're going to play the first two notes together. Then when you say diff, you're going to play the next triplet. Then you're going to go eh, and then you're going to say this. You're going to play this one, the last eighth note on the bottom, and then cult goes with this. So it's going to go not difficult, not difficult, not difficult, not difficult, not, like that, over and over. Okay, so that works quite well. And then once you've gotten that, then to get it even more steady, then you turn on your metronome and you get it clicking, so then every time you say not, it goes with the click, so it's like not difficult, not difficult, not difficult, not difficult. And then it'll be nice and smooth. Okay, and also here, I have a little line kind of drawn to show you like kind of how they come down. So it's like, these would be your triplets here, and then this is your eighth note, so it'd be like dun dun, or so ones are together, and then it's going to be the top one here, right there, is that one, and then the second one, and then the third. And then to make things even more, sometimes I draw this, so these two are coming down, they start, and then it goes up, and then down, and then up. So that's another way to think of it. So together, up to here, down to there. So it's together, middle of the third one, then the end of the second, and then the end of down here. Yeah, now, that doesn't really sound very clear when I say it like that. I'm kind of having a hard time simplifying this. It's just these two, and then just play the middle of the triplet, then play the end of the second of the two together, and then play the end of the triplet. So the triplet, because there's three of them, each note is a shorter interval, right? So it's going to have to, their spacings are closer, so that would actually make sense that the last triplet here would be played before or after this, because this note's actually longer. So these three are shortened up because they have to fit into one space. So it's like a musical way of fitting everything into one smaller area. Like when you go into triplet mode, it's all just like, so say you're going like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and now you have to shift, so that one beat that you're playing, 1 and is 3 now. So it's 3 and a, 3 and a, versus okay, so that's 2 against 3. So remember, it's not difficult, not difficult. And now 4 against 3, same thing. It's actually the same principle, it's just with more notes. So instead of 2 notes at the bottom, there's 3, and there's 4 at the top. Although this could be switched around, so there's 4 at the bottom and 3 at the top, and then you just do it in reverse order. Okay, so it's going to be like, now all you're doing is you're adding one word to this, 2 syllables. So it's Not very difficult. Not very difficult. Not very difficult. Like that. Now it looks sort of like this. Not very difficult. And then I just keep going on. So the main thing you have to remember is that at if you've got two of these in a row, by the time you get to the next one of these, like if there's another one here, you'd have to play these two together again. So it's like coming together, switching apart, coming together, switching apart. Now another easy way to play this is just think that when you play this note, then it's just going to be one note, right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. So it's just like they're alternating, switching between the two. Sort of. Okay. Now, there's quite a few pieces that actually have these in them. Chopin uses them a lot, and maybe once or twice in his more senior pieces. So if you're planning to go on and look at more advanced pieces, this is something you might want to be aware of. So same thing here. Also Beethoven uses this one in a grade, I think 8 or 9 piece. For like almost half a page in the right hand and left hand, it's just 2 against 3 the whole time. It goes like da 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 or something like that, and it sounds all funky and cool. So yeah, there's polyrhythms for you. Now I would demonstrate, but well, you can actually see a polyrhythm when you watch my WC video, but yeah, it'd be kind of hard for me to hold the camera in a proper spot and then show you a polyrhythm at the same time. So you can just look at that video, and it changes, like if you notice near the end of that piece, the WC piece, it actually changes so that the polyrhythm will be, it goes to, it has the 8th notes with the 2 in the right hand, and then it has the triplets in the left hand. So it actually switches it around and then switches it back, because originally it has the triplets in the right hand and the 8th notes in the left. It's still pretty hot. I'm still sweating. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to try and figure out how I can make a more professional video for the next ones. Feel like I'm getting kind of sloppy and disorganized, and I don't really know what I'm doing before I start, and it's just kind of like, whatever, because I'm going off the fly. But I haven't really thought of a good idea to do a lesson on. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this was interesting, because it probably won't be able to use for practical use for quite a while unless you're already pretty advanced. But yeah, if you can find a use for it, that's cool. Plus, either way, it'll be going to your head, and it'll be one of those things that you can be like, oh, I know what a polyrhythm is. This is how you do it. Stuff like that. Okay. Anyway, thank you for watching piano lesson number 20, and I'll see you later.